What's up, YouTube? So yesterday, I was discussing. By the way, I'm watching YouTube this morning, and I was telling you about the customer who called about having a catalytic converter efficiency code again on their fleet van, and they took it to the dealer, and the dealer replaced the mass airflow sensor, and who knows what else. And so Rachel's like, yeah, we told you that 3 months ago that it needs a tune-up and a mass airflow sensor. And they said, well, the dealer didn't say that it needs a tune-up. The van has over 100,000 miles on it. The van is due for 100,000 mile service. Trans fluid, antifreeze, fuel injection, diff services, 100,000 mile service. And what pisses me off is that they know that these services are due. They know at 100,000 miles that vehicle is overdue for a tune-up. So why? So can anybody out there in the Chevy and GM service departments tell me why, when a customer comes in and they have a CAT efficiency code, there's no other recommendations for anything else that led up to why the catalytic converter failed? And we're not talking about a vehicle that's still covered under a warranty. We're talking out of warranty vehicle at 100K. Why? And this goes for just about everybody, but we're just going to say GM techs because I know I have some GM master technicians on here. Why are dealerships, and I've seen this many a times, yeah, the dealership just says it needs a catalytic converter. And I've read it right on their diagnostic, like the customer's complaint, their recommendation, any warranty issue, any recalls that were done, and not a sound of anything else needed on the car. Someone explain this to me. For one, there's opportune meat on the bone, right? So we'll use those terms. There's meat on the bone for you to provide the right services for your customer and recommendations. But I see this almost every time that I have a customer come in for a catalytic converter. Nobody in our industry, a few, very few, just don't recommend a tune-up. It's the number one leading cause of why a catalytic converter fails. Number one leading cause of why a catalytic converter fails. I don't get it. I do not get it. I know that the service department probably doesn't care if the customer comes back with a check engine light on afterwards with a misfire or whatever it is. Because the light's not on for a misfire. It's like, oh, well, it's not misfiring. Well, that's not true. And 100,000 miles, in my opinion, is way too long for any vehicle to not have a tune-up. Way too long. With the garbage oil change procedures, the garbage products, the customer using the cheapest fuel available and not doing any maintenance, it is just a blender of issues and more importance for you to maintain the vehicle. But this is just targeted to the dealerships primarily. I have shops that send me cars, and I tell them I ain't covering this unless someone tunes it up. And if they bring it back and there's no new spark plugs in there or nothing else, I don't cover it, and I don't care. It's your job to advise the customer on what the vehicle needs and it should have for preventative maintenance, preventing this catalytic converter from failing again, because it failed for a reason at 100,000 miles. Mostly because lack of people not recommending the right maintenance and using the right products to keep their car on the road. But I'm sure I'm going to see this customer back bitching in my face, and I'm going to have to just tell them the way it is. You decline tuning it up. You decline the mass airflow sensor. How do you expect the catalytic converter to last? And it's only on one bank. So what does that tell you? Something on the bank one is destroying the catalytic converter. This would be three catalytic converters. One, they came in and said just change the cat. Okay, no problem. Two, came back with the check engine light on again later. All right, and then the body was empty, so I'm like, all right, so something's going on, even though it's not logging a misfire. But if the mass airflow sensor's coding, it's misfiring at some point, but not enough to log a misfire code. And then we change it again. We advise them tune up a mass airflow sensor, right? same bank. And then now at the dealership, they only had the mass airflow sensor changed. I was like, the van has over 100,000 miles. It's due for a tune-up. I don't care what anyone else says. But why in the dealership levels are the technicians not recommending the required maintenance and tune-ups for cat efficiency codes? Somebody let me know. Thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate it.